weather and the wind teach us something every day.
On the 13th.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, that's 15, 29, 30, 31. That's 18.
Good morning. Welcome to the Caldor incident, operational briefing for August 31st to September 1st, 0700 to 0700 hours. My name is Gabe Garcia. I'm the Planning Section Chief for Incident Management Team 6. I ask that you please mute your phones, silence your radios, and keep any sidebar conversations down. I also want to thank you for wearing your masks inside the briefing area. Also, this briefing is streamed on YouTube Live, so make sure you pass that down to your troops. Just scan the QR code on the front of your IAP. I'm going to start off with our incident objectives. Our management objectives are to provide for emergency personnel and public safety at all times. Ensure COVID-19 precautions and best practices are met at all times. Protect property improvements and infrastructure. Ensure coordinated, timely, and accurate release of public information. Foster and maintain relationships with all cooperators and stakeholders. Protect economic, natural, cultural, and heritage resources. Maintain fiscal accountability and keep costs commensurate with values at risk. Our control objectives: keep the fire north of Highway 4, keep the fire south of Wentworth Springs Road, keep the fire east of E16 and Fiddletown Road, and keep the fire west of Highway 89. With our current situation, night operations.
Good morning. My name is Tim Ernst, Operations Section Chief for CAL FIRE Team 6. This fire started 18 days ago, and when the team first got on the ground, we asked everybody to celebrate little victories. And I want to bring your attention to the map today because all of your hard work has put a lot of those little victories on the map. If we start here at the point of origin of the fire, all of Alpha is blacked off due to your hard work. We're in patrol status there. As we move into Delta, which has really been one of the thorns in our side here for this entire west flank of the fire, we finally got containment lines all the way around the tip of Alpha now. We're just working to get those fully mopped up. We should expect to see that fully contained here in the next day or so. A lot of hard work went into that, and we thank you all for that. Moving up through the top of the branch, everything holds really well in here. We remain in tactical patrol all the way to the top of the branch and all the way through Foxtrot. We do still have some areas of heat here in the bottom of Gulf. We need to continue to work on those hard. The fire every night does blow down canyon and it does flank across this hillside, so let's make sure we keep an eye on that. We do still have cabins along this highway here on Highway 50 right above the river, and there still is that little green belt between the river and the road. We don't want to lose that green belt because of all the cabins in there, so let's watch that closely today. As we move up along Highway 50, we see that same risk all the way up through about Division India. Last night, yesterday actually, we heard a lot about the wind coming through. And to our surprise, the wind was over 30 miles an hour up the top, probably topping 40 to 50 miles an hour in some of those bursts. With that, we saw long-range spotting yesterday, so a lot of extra challenges for all of us to address here for the next who knows how long. We saw spotting distances between a half a mile and a mile yesterday. The spots went all the way to the other side of the 89 and are working their way back up. We have an increased structure threat in this area and an increase in that fire to continue to move. So a lot of work that needs to go into this piece as well. As we move into branch 15, a lot of work went into here yesterday during the shift and into last night with a number of firing operations that took fire into a number of places. We brought fire all the way out the Mormon Immigrant Trail down to Highway 88, started to move up Highway 88. So this piece is starting to show a lot of great progress for us. As we continue down, November continued a firing operation last night that went extremely well to lock off some of those pieces, and that continues all the way down through branch 20 and into branch 30. Branch 30 now luckily is in the phase where we're actually starting to pick up material, do absolute mop up around some of those homes and backhaul trash and hose. So a lot of great work is starting to be represented on the map. We thank you for that. That's the end of my report.
Up next with your weather, our incident meteorologist.
Good morning, everybody. Incident meteorologist Jim Dudley with today's weather. So, red flag warning. We all know that. It's in effect today. It remains in effect through tomorrow night at 2300 or 11 p.m. So, The weather can teach us a lot about the fire. Yesterday, for the folks working up top, we knew it was going to be windy. We knew the terrain was very, very, very complex, and there's gusts from all kinds of different directions, turbulent flow, all these big words you want to use for how the wind was behaving up there, especially up on the top part of the fire. Those conditions will happen again today. We have even more flow coming across the fire to cause more turbulent winds. You know, gust 45, maybe 50, depends on where you are. That wind is going to channel through the canyons and drainages up there, and the overall direction is going to want to take it off to the northeast and east, but when you're down on the terrain, it's going to be all over the place. So that's going to happen again today. Keep that in mind. You know, I can't emphasize more the wind issues we're going to have up on top. I don't think that's going to surprise anybody. For everybody else working down on the lower sections of the fire today, it's going to be windier than yesterday. Yesterday it took a while to get going, but we finally got the southwesterlies kicking in. Those are going to kick in earlier today, and the speeds are going to be even a little higher there. So everywhere on the fire is going to see stronger winds than yesterday. Be especially aware of where you are and how the terrain is going to affect those winds. You guys be aware of that and have a safe day as you can out there. Thank you.
With fire behavior, our fire behavior analyst.
Good morning, Stephen Vollmer, Fire Behavior Analyst for Incident Management Team 6. So we heard night ops talk about the spotting distances and the complex terrain. We heard the meteorologist talk about the wind channeling up from the southwest to the northeast and the issues that we're having there. So the spotting, that's what's getting us on this fire. Every day when those trees torch out, we've got that long distance spotting. Today's not going to be any different. When we get those active torching events, we're going to see the rates of spread on those go up to about 200 feet per minute, and the spotting distances go over a mile. So remember, if that active torching occurs down in drainages that are in alignment with that southwest flow, we're going to see that long distance spotting again. And we're going to continue to see that probably for the next 2 days. The probability of ignition is 90% out there, but really it should be about 150, because anything that gets thrown out and lands on an old dead log or a tree stump or whatever out there, that's holding the heat, and that's just going to continue to let it smolder. And this hot, dry conditions that we're in right now is just going to make that spot propagate into a nice little issue that we're going to have to deal with somehow. So be heads up out there. Watch those winds. They are erratic. They are squirrely. It doesn't matter where you're standing. 5 minutes later, you're going to have a different wind flow pattern through there. So just be real heads up. Have a safe shift.
With your safety message, our safety officer.
Good morning, Tim Adams, Team 6 Safety. Yesterday marked the 6-year anniversary of 2 LA County firefighters that lost their lives in a fast-moving brush fire in Acton, California. How do we honor those? We do it by not allowing history to repeat itself. So we need you guys to go out there and maintain good communication, good situational awareness, execute the plan that's in your IAP, adjust for the conditions and terrain you're in. We also need you to assure that PPE is worn properly. Everybody needs to be your own leader. We're seeing those injuries creep up with PPE because we're working for the task and we're not looking at the potential of the environment we're in. So please, wear all your appropriate PPE for changing conditions. And lastly, I want to talk about gravity. As the fire continues to chunk away, I came on this fire 3 days ago and all I've heard is about the tree releases. So we need to keep our heads on a swivel, maintain situational awareness in those work zones. Because whether it's a limb or a full tree, it's not just threatening the line, it's threatening your lives. So work as a team, communicate, and have a productive shift. Thank you.
And now your incident assignments, operations.
All right, hey, good morning, everybody. Beal Monday with NEMO Team 2, representing CAL FIRE Team 6. How's everybody this morning? All right, yeah, a lot of enthusiasm out there. Appreciate that. All right, so this morning in Branch 1, we have Dino Asadas, Division Alpha with Bide, Division Delta with Egan and Foreman, Branch 10 with Whalen, Foxtrot Gulf with Watkins, Hotel with Estabrook, India Miller and Jones, Division Juliet with Long, Contingency Group with Klemick and Haslinger. Thank you. Branch 15, we have Brett Loomis. He's a 12-hour resource on the other side already, and Jed Gaines that came in. Good morning, Jed. All right, and then in Division Kilo, we'll have Abello. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And Aaron Stafford, who's on the other side. Division Lima with Gronin, and he's going to be shadowing Chester and Peralt today. Thank you. And contingency group with Travis Thane. Thank you. Branch 20 with Engler. And in branch 20, we'll have Division Mike with Beckman. Division November with Almond and Salsky. And Division Papa with Lohan. Thank you. And branch 30, Division Romeo with Burley. And Tango Uniform Whiskey with Burroughs. All right, good morning, everybody. Okay, so Tim gave a great update on the situation that unfolded yesterday and last night. So, you know, getting into work assignments for today, we'll start down here in the southwest corner. We still have a lot of work to do. It's Achilles' heel on us down here. You know, every time I go out here, I'm amazed by the amount of houses that have been saved in this whole area. Everybody out here in this entire audience, you ought to be proud of the amount of structures that have been saved in here. There was some loss down here, and it's devastating. But when you look at this, it's amazing how much good work went in here focusing on getting this back door cut off. So very proud to be part of this organization, to see this work that got done down here. Getting a little bit more, get this tied in, get the back door secured on us today. Moving up through Division Delta into Gulf, as Tim mentioned, we still have some active fire burning down here along the highway corridor. We got to keep that in mind. With these southwest winds today, there's still a chance that there's fire that could potentially spot across Highway 50. We've got the contingency group built back into Branch 10. Their primary focus is to have a good plan in place, looking at dozer lines coming across the top on the north side of Highway 50, making sure we have something up there developed. So there's a bunch of equipment we moved in there today, have that stuff established. Moving through Hotel up into India, as Tim mentioned, there's that swath of houses in between the river and the highway corridor. There was a few things that happened in there yesterday. We had some fire close to some cabins. We have to stay diligent and pay attention to that stuff. There's a lot of activity going out in front of us. There's a lot of distractions going on, but we can't let those little things happen behind us as we continue to move forward. Continuing to secure all this country up here in Division India is our focus for today. Moving up into Division Kilo, Branch 15. So let me take a few minutes. Branch 15, that's our moving piece. We're going to have Branch 15 in Myers today with some of the new resources coming in from the other team. We're going to be working with them. We're going to be establishing a new branch. We're having a meeting this morning over there at Station 7 to get a new branch formed in South Lake Tahoe. We're going to try to get some structure groups established out of some of the incoming leadership from the other teams. We've got a lot of resources that are reporting over there. We have to have organizational structure in place. That's the key thing for this whole northeast side over there. There's a lot of people that aren't in this audience that are watching us right now live on YouTube. We have to make sure we get together, put a plan together, organizational structure in place, communications are dialed in, and people know where they're going. That's the first thing we got to make sure we're doing before we head out and hit the fires line today. Coming around into the rest of Branch 15, we have a contingency group. Their focus today is to start looking at the 89 and 88 corridor coming around, getting the equipment in place, making sure that we have a good catcher's mitt as this fire continues to burn across to the east. Okay, we've also got some more contingency folks looking further out. What opportunities do we have to try to cut this fire up as it moves on to the east side of Tahoe? So there's a lot of moving pieces on the east side of this fire today. Tomorrow's IEP is going to look much differently. We're going to have more branches, more divisions, more structure groups established on this whole east side. Coming down into Division Lima and Mike, more prep work through here, making sure if there's any opportunities to see if we can cut some of this country off. That's our focus there. Division November, we're down here in Kirkwood. We've got the fire that slopped across on us yesterday. We've got Thunder Mountain Ski Resort. We've got more values at risk being threatened right now. We've got people in place. We're trying to cut that fire off on the south side of Highway 88. More residents, more infrastructure. Please pay attention to where you're at down there as well. there's a lot of focus going on up here, but we still have a lot of values at risk that we need to make sure that we're protecting down here as well. So those folks that are down here, a lot of them stayed out there. Even the 12-hour folks worked 24 last night. We've got a big presence down here trying to cut this finger off on the south side of November. Coming around down through Papa, as was mentioned, there's a little bit of firing operations that may take place today, depending on the condition, just to secure this piece of line. We'll play that by ear, see what the weather's doing. If it looks favorable, we'll try to pull that off. If you're not too familiar with this country, it's real broken. It's not continuous ground fuel. There's a lot of timber stringers that are available to burn, but if it doesn't need to burn and it won't burn, then we're not going to try to force it. But as this fire is continuing this way, we do not want to have any type of adverse wind effect that could push something across. So we have a hard presence in here as well, just watching this southern flank for us. Coming around through the rest of the bottom of branch 30, just to patrol. We've got folks like Tim mentioned starting to pull hose. We need to get those supplies back into camp as soon as possible to repurpose this stuff out to the east. That's one of our primary issues as we're continuing to go east and south. We're starting to run short on supplies. So folks are out there, please start bringing that stuff back in. If you see something laying on the side of the road that you know is not going to be used, start grabbing that stuff, please. Bring it back into us. The other thing I'm going to mention this morning is communications. Logistics will probably mention it here in a few minutes, but I'm going to hit on it. With the amount of resources that came in last night that are coming in this morning, communications are going to be taxing today. Please be aware of that, okay? Radio diligence is key. We need to make sure that we have good communications, but we got to make sure that it's open lines of communication. There's going to be a lot of resources on TAC frequencies, so if you don't need to talk, please don't talk, but if you need to talk, make sure you're talking. It's going to be difficult. These divisions are tight. We've got hundreds of people in each division, so please pay attention. Make sure you're on the right frequency, in the right group. And there's a lot of, like I said, there's resources on the other side watching me on TV right now. Make sure you guys have our communications plan. Make sure that you're paying attention to who your line leadership is, who your coordinating divisions are, and that communication link is there. With that, everybody have a good, safe day. Make sure you have LCES in place. Key factors, 4 letters. Let's make sure we keep those things in place today, because today's going to be another big dynamic fire day, and we have to make sure we know what we're doing all the time. Thank you.
Up next, Air Operations.
Good morning, Chance Inwood, Air Operations Branch Director, CAL FIRE Team 6. Some numbers for yesterday for fixed wing. We were able to deliver 180,000 gallons of retardant. That's including 3 VLATs and 2 LATs, and we've delivered 1.8 million out of McClellan alone. For rotary wing, 231,000 gallons of water and 13,700 gallons of retardant. For today's lineup for fixing, we have 1 ASM, 1 air attack, and 3 tankers on early up. For rotary, we have 26 copters, 2 MRBs, and 2 helibases. With that said, we'll probably have night flying capabilities by this evening. So branches and divisions, let's just make sure we're giving the troops a good operational brief for night flying capabilities and make sure they're clearing the line. Thank you. End of report.
With your medical plan, medical unit leader.
Good morning, Mark Knott. I'm the medical unit leader for CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 6. Please turn to page 44. You'll see on page 44, CalMat is our in-camp medical team. There's a physician, full medical staff, as well as supplies right there at the entrance. Our 24-hour hoist ship still continues to be Guard 840. Under the hospitals, you'll see there's some changes there, thanks to our partners from California EMS Authority with keeping us up to date with what our hospital resources are as they change, as well as our contingency resources from the local community. Under line personnel on your 204s, where you'll find those have adjusted as well as your assignments have changed and the fire activities changed. We're adjusting our personnel as well. On line 6, you'll see the special medical emergency procedures for line incidents. If you do have a line incident, take a deep breath, gather your thoughts, let us know the nature of the incident, the location of the patient, who the point of contact is, and what your resource needs are. We'll get you help. Lastly, the medical unit is still spending a fair amount of time working on COVID-19 mitigations and response. So please continue to follow those mitigations. Thank you for wearing your masks, and have a good shift.
Communications.
Good morning, Bernie Rapp, Communications Unit Leader for Incident Management Team 6. Today your 205s are located on pages 45, 46, and 47. The first 2 pages are for incident communications. The third page is a group to be used in the event of a new start within the fire area, and we need to send resources to assist. Your current clone is guard 27. You can validate that you have the most current clone by looking at channels 16 and 20 on your radios and make sure that that reads guard 27. It is the expectation of team by weather and operations trailers. We continue with the 7 command channels, and they are identified on their maps and in the remarks of the 205s. Remember that they are linked and that you may have to change channels as you move around the incident to maintain coverage. As Ops mentioned, radio discipline on TACs. You need to work on that. Your tactical channel assignments are as follows. For Division November, NIFC TAC 1. Division Delta and Division Lima, NIFC TAC 6. Division Papa, NIFC TAC 7. Division Mike, NIFC TAC 3. Division Alpha and Kilo, CDF TAC 26. Division Juliet, CDF TAC 27. Division Hotel Romeo, CDF TAC 28. Division India, CDF TAC 29, Division Tango Union Whiskey, and Foxtrot Golf, CDF TAC 30. Calcord and Guard, it's for emergency use only. Do not use it for your fire tactical information. Thank you.
Up next, logistics.
Good morning, Steve Doman, Logistics Section Chief at CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 6. On page 48 of your IAP, you're going to find our ground support message, and there you'll find address, points of contact for fueling locations, equipment repair, so forth. We have 3 off-site fueling locations set up on this incident. Gas and diesel is available at Dawson Oil Company off Pleasant Valley Road, which is one off-ramp to our west. We have diesel only available out there on the line. There has been one change in that ground support message. The fuel tender is located at, diesel is located at drop point 21 off Highway 50. And then the fuel tender has been moved from Indian Digging School down to our Peddler Hills Spike Camp off Highway 88. On page 55, you're going to find our CDF CAL FIRE 101 form. For any items, durable items that are left out on the line or that are damaged, please document them on this 101 form. Get your division or branch signatures on that and bring it back into supply, and they'll take care of your supply needs. You heard operations talk about backhauling hose and trash. We are extremely limited in our cash, so any opportunities are to pull that hose, we'll get it recycled and get it back out to you. And like, I'd also like to remind you, we're about 2 weeks into this incident. It's a good time to go through the cabs of your engine, get rid of all those perishables, disinfect your coolers, and have a safe shift. Thank you.
Up next, training.
Good morning, Shane Vargas, Training Specialist, Incident Management Team 6. You now have 2 training specialists assigned to this incident to help facilitate your training documentation needs. We have over 300 trainees assigned to this incident, so please come check in with us at your earliest convenience. When you come in, please bring your task book and your qual card so that we can get you in and out of there as quickly as possible. If you have any questions about training, my phone number is on the bottom of page 49 in your IAP. Please give me a call and have a safe shift.
And now federal plans with a check-in message.
Good morning, Dana Carter. I'm Planning Section Chief with NEMO Team 2. We are adjusting the check-in process just a slight bit. All resources will still check in formally here with the check-in trailer. However, for federal resources or federally sponsored resources, including contractors, we need to get a little bit additional information for you, particularly around your travel, as well as for some of the information pertinent to finance. So you'll find a link under the QR code on the front of your IAP cover or at the check-in trailer. We'll just ask that you adjust or take a little bit of time, even if you've checked in formally here, if you're a federal resource, to go in and provide us that additional information. We appreciate all you're doing, so thank you.
Up next, finance.
Good morning. I'm Dana Reed and one of your finance chiefs. Your finance message is on pages 51 and 52. And just one thing to emphasize this morning. If you have any agency equipment that's been damaged, you need to please see comp claims as soon as possible. They're in the trailer right behind me to my right. Please do not wait until you demob to make that happen. We need to get that done in advance. So thanks again for all you're doing. Have a great day.
Up next, liaison.
Good morning, Mitch Villalpando, liaison with CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 6. So a couple of messages here we have for you. First, I want to say thank you for all your participation and to the cooperators specifically, because we can't get this completed without your help. So at 10 o'clock, we'll have a cooperators meeting at 10 o'clock, again, over here to my left. And if you would turn to page 56 in your IAPs, it is important to Team 6 that you are healthy physically and mentally. So we have the ESS here to help you with any needs you might have. So pay attention to that. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you're healthy. We need you to be here. And then lastly, we want to thank the volunteers that bring the therapy dogs. So stop by, pet our four-legged friends. They really do a good job, and they're here for you. Thanks again, and watch your 6 today.
Up next, information.
Good morning. Carrie Green, Public Information Officer, Team 2-6. I want to just reiterate what Beal said about communications being really dialed in today. If you turn to page 59 in your IAP, and I'm hoping that our folks watching from the other side have access to this, you can find all the official sources of information for the incident. One official source of information for the incident. There is a link tree if you click on the QR code on that page, and it brings all of the links for all of the official sources of information. Please feel free to share those with your friends and family at home if they want to know what's going on and what's happening with the incident. Those are the official sources. Our stats for today: 3,904 personnel, 191,607 acres, and 16% containment. We have an information line for the public that we're answering from 8 to 8, 530-303-2455. We also have a media line that is answered 24 hours, 530-497-0315. You can also see an email list sign up in that link tree and on that page in your IAP. Quick reminder about media access. As long as they are not hampering your safety or your operation, they do have access. They are allowed access to come into those areas, but if they are endangering your operation or your safety, please call a PIO or security, and we'll make sure that we escort them to a different area and help them get their story safely. And finally, lost and found and mail. We can facilitate both of those things at the PIO trailer, which is at the entrance to the fairgrounds. Thank you very much.
Before we go to closing comments, a few reminders. Your branch and division breakouts are behind you around the briefing area. Unassigned resources is to your left, my right, with the resource unit leader. Our expectation and your obligation is to attend your breakouts. We will take roll call at your breakouts. Cooperators meetings at 10, planning meeting at 1800. Our next operational briefing for night shift is at 1900. And tomorrow's operational briefing, 0700 hours. And now our incident commander.
Good morning, everybody. Jeff Ike, Incident Commander for CAL FIRE Team 6 in conjunction with Team 2. So make it very clear, you heard the folks presenting, one team, one fight, but the merged team. So I'm going to show the side of personality, humility for just a second, and then I'm going to switch back to my day job here and deliver a hard, direct message. So bear with me for 1 second. I got about 30 seconds to a minute before I get the hook and the plans chief throws me off this stage, because we're going to hit 30 minutes of this briefing, which is a long briefing, and we got to get you to work. So here it is. Get a solid briefing today from your breakout. If you were here yesterday, you're getting the same message. Solid, complete briefing at your breakout. You heard Beal Monday lay it out very clearly. I'm going to wrap around Beal and make sure how important what Beal said and the whole team here, how important you have to follow operations as leadership today. Communication is paramount. Coordinated firefighting. To take this even further and more direct, no uncoordinated firefighting. So to put that in firefighter terms, no freelancing. That will get somebody injured or killed. So if you didn't get it the way Beal threw it out there, hear the way I'm saying, coordinated firefighting. That's what we do, and every one of you is trained that way. Do not let the emotions of an intense firefight overwhelm you and take independent action. You're going to injure or kill somebody. Do not do that. So with that being said, as I drove into the incident this morning, we got a booming column up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Recognize, recognize, recognize. You are going to go out there today and have an intense firefight. This fire is going to stand up and rip. Recognize that. Get the public out of the way, and under no circumstances, get in front of the head of this fire. Flame front following, the way we're all trained, that fire is going to do what it's going to do. There's no stopping that. We are throwing everything in our capability at that fire. Do not get in front of the head of that fire. If anyone is unclear on that, raise your hand and come talk to one of the team members or your division soup. Coordinated firefighting. So it's going to get even harder in this. I'm about to get tackled in 10 seconds, so I got to get this out. The COVID mitigations. So you got to hear it from one of your leaders here. We lost a whole strike team of crews yesterday. We lost a finance section chief to COVID positive. So understand, do not come to this briefing without a mask on. I understand your views are important, and I will always respect that as one of your leaders. But you are here at a briefing. One more COVID firefighter getting sick could take out our actions to protect the communities and the people that we're here to serve. What I'm saying is, we need every one of you to stay healthy. The last piece, emotions. Do not give one of the team members or the folks working on this incident, excuse me, or any of you, a hard time about a mask. They're doing their job. If you're that upset about having to wear a mask, come talk to me, please, or one of the ICs. The folks that are asking you, being the mask police, they're simply doing what the ICs and the agency administrator leadership has set the bar. Stay positive, stay focused, get out there and fight some fire and protect the people we serve. I love and respect each and every one of you. Please keep yourselves safe. Thank you.
That concludes our briefing. Unassigned resources with the resource unit leader to your left, my right.